welcome to MELfeed.video. We are commencing a live web stream service via youtube.com from Echuca, Australia. We currently conduct these streams on Monday evenings, with other times to be added as more opportunities arise. Please visit our website MELfeed.video for further information. This web video project presents old and new community TV programs. Please enjoy your stay with MELfeed.video.
Hello and welcome to NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. Today our guest is Monica Bronskist, who is a homeschool mum, and she's also a 100% raw fooder, and she runs a raw food group. Welcome to the program, Monica.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you became a raw fooder?
Okay, that's a long story,
yes.
but
yeah, go for it.
All right. I did I call it a natural progression. I was on a fairly healthy diet before I became vegetarian or vegan. But we didn't eat any lollies, didn't drink fizzy drinks, didn't have junk food. So we just had a cooked food and that sort of diet. And then I started doing health and nutrition classes and found out that meat wasn't particularly good for you. And I'd come home at night and I told my kids, meat's no good for you. So my daughter said, "Oh, great, I don't need to eat meat anymore." So she became vegetarian then and there. And I thought, well, if a little girl can make that sort of a commitment and see the light so easily and quickly, then, maybe I should do that too. So I became vegetarian as well. And then I found out that dairy's no good for you, so then we became vegan. And then this raw food thing just kept getting thrown everywhere. I'd go on the computer and raw food would come up. I would look in magazines, or not really in magazines in those days, but wherever raw food was coming up. And so I thought, let's see what this raw food thing's about. And I thought, I couldn't do that, eat only raw food. And I thought, how stupid is that? And anyway, it still kept getting thrown at me, and I thought, okay, well, maybe I should look at it. And I still thought, no, I can't do this. And but I ended up buying an ebook online and printed it off. And my eldest daughter and I sat down one day, and we read this ebook, and we decided then and there to become 100% raw food. Wow,
that's beautiful. And during that, what was that? That was year 2008, was it?
Yes.
2008.
Yes.
And then during that time, were there ever times where you felt tempted by all the advertising or what other people were eating or anything, and how would you deal with it?
No, because for me I changed my whole life doing this. And for me, seeing other food, it wasn't food to me anymore. So no, I wasn't tempted at all.
So it was kind of like a whole lifestyle change.
It was, yeah.
And in what other ways did you change your life?
Well, first of all, transitioning from being normal food to vegetarian, there wasn't many changes, and transitioning then to be vegan, again, not many changes. But when I transitioned to raw food, there was a huge amount of changes. Your body odour changes. Mosquitoes no longer found me attractive anymore, which was wonderful. And intuition, great sense of intuition, it was just amazing. Something I'd never experienced in my life before.
So your whole outlook started to change.
Everything, yeah. And I love Oh, and the energy. I have so much energy, so much life, so much enthusiasm. And I love who I am, who I've become.
Right.
Yeah.
And so have you had obstacles at all along the way?
When we first started, it was a bit hard because I didn't really know how, and I didn't know how to make raw food, you know. And it's like when you change from eating normal food to vegetarian, you've got to learn new recipes. The same thing happened here. You've got to learn new recipes. And at the time, there wasn't an awful lot of recipes out there, but there were recipes out there. And, you know, one day, you know, maybe 3 weeks after we first started, my daughter said, "Oh, I'm getting a bit bored, Mum," you know. So I went on the internet and found recipes, and that really changed things for us. And then we actually started going to the Melbourne Raw Food Group and meeting other people that did the raw food thing, sharing food, learning recipes from them, getting ideas from them, and, you know.
And did you find that helped?
Absolutely,
yeah.
Yes. It's really great being around other people that have similar ideas.
Right. And
learning their recipes, the way they do things. You know, it was really helpful.
And then you even came to the point where you started to run the raw food group.
Yes. I'm a very sort of passionate person, and I wanted to learn as much as I could and get into every aspect of it. So I eventually took over in, I think it was 2008, I think I took over.
Wow, the same year.
Yeah. The Raw Food Group started in 2007,
okay.
And we're actually the largest raw food group in the Southern Hemisphere. We've got close to 1,300 people in our group.
Wow.
And we get together, you know, between 1 to 3 times every month.
And how many of the people in the group are actually 100% raw fooders?
It's only a small amount of people that are actually 100% raw. The rest are either high raw, curious, you know. But 100%, there's not that many of us.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's good anyway. You make, you know, you do. What sort of things do you do? Let the audience know, what sort of things do they run in the raw food group?
Well, we have meetings in people's houses. We go to parks and have picnics. We have demonstrations. You know, we might have demonstration on how to make raw food. We might have a demonstration on how the tools that you use with raw food. One time we had to test the different blenders on the market to see which was the best type of blender. Okay. So we had a blend off and put all the same ingredients in each one to find out which was the best one, and then people voted as beautiful. So that was lots of fun.
We'll have to go to a break now, but we'll continue.
Sure.
You're watching NAT Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly.
If a man's home is his castle, his shed is his kingdom. It's a place men can hang out with a few mates, build a few things, even if you haven't before, and give back to the community. No man should be without a shed. The Australian Men's Shed Association is working to provide a shed for all Australian men, and they have over 400 already. Visit your local shed, build your community, and make a difference. Find a shed near you. It's time to give back.
We've all seen this one time or another. We may even have done it ourselves. But inhaling balloon gas is very dangerous and can be fatal. The helium in balloon gas acts as an asphyxiant, and when you inhale, it displaces the oxygen in your lungs. Balloon gas is safe in balloons and when you release it in a well-ventilated area and in a safe manner. So the next time you see some sucker about to inhale balloon gas, or you think it's going to be a laugh, stop and be gas-wise.
Northern Access Television will turn 30 in 2020. We are planning a celebration night with a book and a special TV show about our history. If you're a past member or a volunteer of NAT, we would love to hear from you. For more details, visit the website nat30years.info and find out how you can help celebrate 30 years of media for the community. The 30th anniversary of Northern Access Television. Let's celebrate in 2020.
Hello and welcome back to NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Monica Bronsgeest, who is a 100% raw fooder and also a homeschool mum and runs a raw food group in Melbourne. Welcome to the program. Welcome
Thanks.
back to the program, I should say. Can you tell us, have you had any cravings when you became a raw fooder? Did you get any cravings and how did you deal with them?
Yeah, I did get cravings, but I found other things to substitute for the things that I was craving. Like it might be chocolate that I was craving, so I found carob powder, raw carob powder, and would make things out of that to substitute that craving. So, but I don't see chocolate as food anymore, so I wouldn't actually eat chocolate. I just find other things to fulfill that need. And they say that cravings come from your body crying out for a particular, nutritional reasons why your body's crying out. You might be a little bit lacking in certain minerals and things like that. So it's not actually the food that it's craving some sort of minerals and that's what causes the cravings. Okay. So by improving your diet, adding more high density foods into your diet, that helps with those cravings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you have moments where you were just struggling through the raw food thing and just thought, if I just eat whatever it is, like a cooked food that you used to eat, it'll be all right,
No.
Because you know how life has its own emotional ups and downs.
Yeah. No, I didn't. Yeah. I didn't. And I haven't ever, had that cooked potato or that whatever. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing, really, to have that iron discipline. I
think it might be the German background, I don't know.
Not all Germans are raw vegans, though, or raw fooders. And what about a bit of your background? Did you grow up in Melbourne or in the country? Or?
Mostly in Melbourne.
Yeah.
I've got a sister, and we had a fairly healthy, so-called healthy lifestyle. We weren't allowed fizzy drinks, lollies. We never had takeaway food, but we still had, 3 vegetables and meat type diet.
And with your children, how did you introduce this to your family with your own children?
Again, I brought them up similarly to how I was brought up. I wanted to give my children the best start in life, and I wanted them to be healthy, and I very strongly believe that, thy food is thy medicine. And so, they didn't have lollies, they didn't have the fizzy drinks, they didn't have the cakes, they didn't have the junk food. They still went to the parties and did all of that sort of thing, but they didn't eat the party food.
And how did you overcome that?
I would feed them before we went to the party. We would I would bring some things in my handbag just in case there wasn't anything that they could eat.
Did they fuss about it and say,
no?
Well, the others are all eating it. Why can't I eat it?
No. It was just the way that they were brought up. So it was never
an issue.
Never an issue. They knew that this is how we eat. Yeah. And my close friends, they knew how we ate, so they would provide a fruit platter or do something like that.
I remember with my daughter, we were doing a lot of raw food with her as well. Yeah. At one point, we sort of on and off now, but at one point it was really quite strong. And we went to a party, and all the children were like running around. Everyone was running, and they had all the lollies and all that sort of stuff.
As
they were running around, and all the children were conking out, like on the side that have breaks. Because they honestly didn't stop running. They're like literally going around the table in circles. But my daughter kept running and running.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, raw food, because she was eating quite a healthy diet. Off and on we sort of But anyway, how long did you eat 100% raw vegan until it became a habit for you?
Well, because I went raw food overnight, and for me that was, you know, if I commit to something, you know, I made that commitment to this way, there is no turning back for me. It's just, you do it.
Because you say, go.
But, you know, I suppose it probably took a few months before it, you know, really became a habit.
Yeah, where you didn't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah. But it is, you know, it's a whole transition, a whole change of life. You know, you have to really change the way you think, how you do things. So, yeah, it's...
And you made new friends too, didn't you, that were raw vegans as well?
Yes.
And did you find that helped a lot as well? Like you're on track and you're socialising with people that are actually following the same lifestyle?
Yeah.
And everyone lives far away, so was it hard to sort of get to...
When usually, like the raw food group, we have meetings sort of all over the place.
Yeah.
So, you know, people travel, some people travel a bit further for this one, but next time it's a bit closer. So, yeah.
In this journey, has this lifestyle that you've done influenced others? Have you felt that it's influenced other people in your life?
Yeah, no, it has. In different relationships that I've had, it's changed their way of thinking. I remember when I met this, I was single at the time, and when I met this guy, and I said to this guy, you know, how healthy are you? And he'd say, oh yeah, I'm really healthy, I do this, that and the other. And then he reversed the question and asked me that question. And by the time I finished telling him about my lifestyle, he said, I'm not really that healthy, am I? And anyway, I mean, I don't put my stuff on anybody else. And I didn't say to him, well, because I'm a raw foodist, you need to become one too. But he made these changes in his life, and it wasn't long after we were going out that he threw out all his junk. And I came over one day, and he'd filled his whole refrigerator full of fruits and vegetables. And he said to me, I've got something to show you. And he opened up his fridge, and it was just full of all good food, and it was just amazing. And when we broke up, he said, you know, I'm so grateful for everything that you've given me. It's just been amazing.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So he's got that for the rest of his life.
That's
now,
right,
you know?
absolutely. And look, there've been other people in, you know, along the way that I've influenced and changed. Yeah.
Well, I've noticed that too also in my marriage. When I'm doing it 100% and doing it like for a good long time, I have to at least do it for 3 months or 4 months without breaking it at all. And then my husband, you can see his diet completely changes. He gives up all his meat, dairy and everything, and just has fruit and vegetables. And the only cooked food will be rice. But anyway, we have to go to a break.
Oh, okay.
You're watching NAT Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly.
Every time we buy certified organic, we're making a choice to help our environment and build a healthier community. But it can be hard to know that what we're buying is truly organic. The Australian Certified Organic logo is only given to products after a very rigorous process. So when you see this logo, it means you can trust that there are no genetically modified foods, no animal cruelty, and no harsh synthetic pesticides used. A healthier community is always better for our future. So the next time you shop, look for this logo.
Every new line means 2 more hands. Join us, lions.org.au.
Australia Day means a time for reflection in one way. We're really lucky to live in such a country, and it's really an opportunity to connect with people who are really close to you and important in your life. I hope and wish for a society that truly respects everybody in every shape and form. On Australia Day, I'll be actually at the tennis, and I'll be sharing that with my friend. Doesn't get much better than that, really.
Get together on Australia Day. Go to australiaday.org.au to find out how.
Hello and welcome back to NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Monica, who's a raw fooder and runs a raw food group and is also a homeschool mum. Welcome back to the program.
Thanks.
Monica, can you tell us who was the strongest influence in your life on being a raw fooder, or what was the influence that you had? Was it what particular book, an author, or?
My biggest influence. Well, when it first kept coming at me, I thought, no, I can't do this. And anyway, I was single at the time, and I was looking at a dating site, and I thought, oh, this guy looks nice. And so I thought to myself, and I was reading through his profile, and it turned out that he was a raw foodist. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I didn't think anyone was a raw foodist. And I thought, well, if this guy can do it, maybe I can do it too. So that sort of inspired me to take it a little bit further. And
getting to know him, did you get to know him?
I did. Later, after I became a raw foodist, I did actually get to know him.
Oh, so you just saw his profile and thought,
exactly. And so that inspired me to take that next step. But other than that, I suppose the e-books that I downloaded off the internet helped as well.
Yeah. And what was the first e-book that you read?
It was by a couple that I think are in Queensland called Gingy and Storm.
Gingy and Storm, okay.
Yeah.
And are they raw vegans in Queensland?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they had like a series of 12 books. Yes, I couldn't tell you exactly the name of the book because there was a whole series of them. But,
okay. And who were the other books that you read?
At the time, I didn't really know a lot.
Yeah.
And that was it, really,
so
for me.
So Gingy and Storm were like the beginners for you? Like that was a turning point when you read their book?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of them. Gingy and Storm. I have to look them up as well.
Yeah.
There's so many more people doing it now.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's crazy, good crazy.
Yeah.
And was there a particular person who helped you, like physically or, in a mentoring kind of way or some sort of way to stay on track?
No actual person, no. Being part of the Melbourne Raw Food Group helped me, meeting other people, socialising with other people, seeing what they were doing, the recipes swapping recipes with each other, that helped, but no actual person.
Okay, so there wasn't one person.
No.
But you know a few of the people doing it, like Alan and Janet Murray Waypoint.
Yes.
Did you find that by helping others become a raw vegan or raw food or get healthier, that it actually helped you to become better at it?
Don't know that it actually helped me, but it made me feel good, of course, helping other people.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Did you ever you didn't obviously see anyone then to reach goals and set goals and stuff?
No.
You didn't read books about goal setting?
No.
Because that was another show we did about that.
Yeah.
Did you always believe you could do this? Like, did you have a self-belief that you could do this?
No, I didn't know whether I could do it or couldn't do it. I just did it.
Yeah, and then just each day, took each day as it comes.
Absolutely. And that's how I lead my life. I just take it a day at a time. Like when you initially approached me about doing the show, and that was like way into the future. And, I don't really know about the future. I only know about right now. I don't know about in the future. And,
that's an interesting thing also, like about what we eat today is how we're going to feel tomorrow.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's sort of like the future.
It's true.
If we could all think about it that way.
Yeah, that's true.
To prevent.
Yeah.
Because it isn't just like some people think people do it for like vanity reasons, they want to look good or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's really about your health. Like in the end, we want to live for a healthy life while we're here on earth, don't we?
Yeah, that's right.
So that should be the turning point.
Yeah.
Did you do anything to spread the raw food message?
Well, I run the Melbourne Raw Food Group, so that sort of puts it out there.
Yeah.
I share with the people in the group what I do, how I do it, and I like to provide information to the members in the group. But
And also off camera we were talking, you were saying how with your children you didn't like enforce it upon them, but you just tried to lead by example. Just tell us a little bit about that experience with the children.
Well, as I said, my eldest daughter, she went raw with me, but I also have a younger daughter, Emily, and a son, Luke, who, so only my eldest daughter and I went raw. The other two were able to do whatever they liked. So I didn't put my stuff on them. They make their own choices. And anyway, one day Emily went to one of our meetups and we were showing a DVD, and something switched over in her head, and she said to me very, very softly, "Mum, I think I'm going to become a raw foodist, but don't tell anyone just in case it doesn't work out."
Oh, so cute.
And after 3 days she said, "Oh, Mum, I think I can do it."
Oh,
so, and she's been raw ever since.
Yeah.
And my son, he leads a normal lifestyle, but fairly healthy when you compare it with what other people do.
Yeah.
And you know, I do sometimes force him to have a green smoothie, and you know, and when he gets sick, he says to me, you know, "Mum, what can you do to help me?" You know. And
I mean, I guess it's an individual choice that people have to make. Because at one point I was running raw food groups as well as running raw food dinner parties, and people would be saying, "Make me do it. Can you make me do it?" You can't make someone do it. You want to help them, but you can't make them do it.
And look, you know, as well as doing the raw food, I want to be healthy. So I don't drink Melbourne water. I get spring water, or I bring water from the farm with, and I put it all into bottles. And I bring these crates of bottles to Melbourne when I come. And so for my son, it's really easy. Pick up a bottle, and off he goes out the door. And anyway, after a while, a lot of my bottles were disappearing. And so he was really getting into my water. And then he came to me one day and he goes, "God, I hate you, Mum." I said, "Well, what have I done wrong now?" You know. And he said, "Your bloody water. I can't drink Melbourne water anymore," you know.
Right. We have to finish the program now, but would you like to come again next week?
I'd love that. That'd be great.
You've been watching NAT Chat. I hope you enjoyed the program. We'll be back again next week.
Performance poetry comes your way with Red Lobster every Monday night at 9:30. Live streamed from Echuca each week, this is MELfeed Video, a different sort of TV.
Hello and welcome to NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. Today our guest is Monica Bronsgeest, who is a raw fooder and also homeschool mum, and she runs a raw food group in Melbourne as well. Welcome to the program.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming back.
No problem.
Can you tell us a little bit about, now we're talking about people that we love in our lives, and sometimes you think, oh look, if you eat don't have to eat all raw food, but if you eat a lot of raw food or more raw food, you could improve your situation. They could be quite sick, really, and we want to help them. Have you had situations like that?
I have found that, you know, you can't make someone do something, you can't do it for them. You know, they've got to decide to do it for themselves, and you can only do the best you can and lead by example, and they can see what's happening in your life, and that way they learn. You can't make them. You know, that's just, you know, and you can just love them and care for them and be there for them, and they have to do it the rest themselves. You know, and
then it hurts you a lot when you see that they're not doing it.
Of course, you know, like my father was diagnosed with cancer, and I thought, okay, I better show Dad, you know, all this stuff that I know. So I spent, I don't know, a couple of weeks researching. I put it all in a folder, and I said to Dad, I said, you have to read this, Dad. This is going to help you. Gave it to him, and he basically threw it back at me and wasn't interested, and said, I'm going to go with modern medicine. And he went on a trial drug and was a guinea pig for it, and after each injection he had a stroke, and yeah, and now he's dead.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I feel that if he would have tried a few alternative things, he would probably still be alive.
And did you ever feel like if I pushed it more on him, maybe he would have done it?
No.
Yeah.
No. Because otherwise that person hates you for doing that. They don't. No one wants to be pushed into doing anything. I know I don't.
Isn't it interesting? And it's even until death as well. You want to save their life, but you still have to respect their free will.
Of course you do. Yeah, absolutely.
Like God gives us all free will.
Yeah. You can't do it for them. So
exactly, and I guess you can tell them, you can show them, but then it hurts when you keep seeing them repeat the same problems to you over and over again.
Of course, and you know, my mum would say, we're doing everything we can for your father, and unfortunately sometimes you slip. And I would say to her, well, actually, no, you're not. I mean, you know, she really did think she was doing everything.
In her heart,
in her heart.
Yeah.
But, you know, I knew different, but nothing I could do about it.
Yeah, it's hard. I know some people, they might keep complaining about the same thing, and they want you to keep saying the same thing back to them, but they still don't do anything about it.
No. And look, you spend a lot of energy explaining stuff to people, spending time with people, and unless they go out and do it for themselves, you've just wasted all your time and all your effort, and you know, and 9 times out of 10 they just don't go and do it. So
it's funny because you just sometimes think maybe they need encouragement. That's why, you know, because they keep coming back for you to encourage them. Yeah. But then they still go and do the same thing.
Yeah, no, it's difficult, you know, and it's got to be their choice.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise it doesn't work.
I remember this man once was saying to me, he worked in a drug and alcoholic place to try and help people get off drugs and alcohol. It's like a rehab place.
Yeah.
And he said there was a man that kept coming back, and he would each time he would see him like as if he was seeing him for the first time, and he'd try and help him that way. And then he came back it was like 14 times, and the others were going, they've all given up on him. They're just like, no way, he's like at the door again. And he said to me that he tried to see him again the 14th time, like he'd seen him for the first time ever, and give him all the news as if it was all fresh. And he said that was it. That was the moment that he turned and changed his entire life. And it was because he kept giving him another chance. He loved him to the end.
Yeah. And sometimes it is like that, you know. It just takes that one moment where it just switches.
Yeah.
So
and the person changes, and now I think they became really good friends because he just saw that he really did care. It's patience. We had a lot of patience. Yeah. And now you have a farm as well. You live on a farm. Do you grow any of your own food there?
Yeah, we try to grow as much of our food as we can, and we also grow lots of herbs and rare type of plants that people say that you can't eat, but we eat them.
And they grow in, that you can't eat, but you eat them. Oh, okay.
So, you read the books and it says, do not eat this plant because this plant is poisonous.
Oh.
And anyway, we're still alive.
Okay. So a bit of a risk taker.
Yeah.
Will I or won't I? Will I die or not if I eat this?
Well, it's confusing on the internet. You read so much information about so many different things and they all say different things. At the end of the day, you've got to choose what you believe, and some of these things, I thought the benefits outweigh the fact that it may be poisonous.
Yeah.
So
you're growing a lot of what fruit? What sort of fruit are you growing?
Everything that we can. We have apples and cherries and pears and. All sorts of different berries and citrus, and we grow our daughters in the sun. My son went through the normal educational system. My oldest daughter, she was having problems at school and being picked on, and I also felt that she wasn't really thriving in school. And anyway, we came across homeschooling and decided to give it a go.
Okay, we have to go to break now, but we'll talk about the homeschooling when we get back.
Yep.
You're watching Nat Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly.
If you were living on the streets, wouldn't you want more than just your best friend to keep you safe, warm and dry? Donate to Backpack Bed for Homeless and give warm, waterproof protection and dignity tonight. Call 1300 OzHelp.
I was in my 40s when I was first diagnosed with bowel cancer. George, my son, was 6 years old at that time. These days, like people of his age, he's very busy, but he still needs to find the time to get to know his bowel cancer risk. Is that right, George?
Yes, Dad. Bowel cancer affects 1 in 12 Australians, young and old, and is our second biggest cancer killer. But if caught early, bowel cancer is treatable and beatable. My dad is living proof of that. So get to know your bowel cancer risk. Talk to your pharmacist or GP about screening. Protect yourself and the ones you love. Go to lovemyfamily.org.au.
Juggling work and caring for Mum can be overwhelming. Having an understanding employer and access to support helps. I love my mum. I just wish I had some time to myself.
Take it from me, one punch can be lethal. Thrown in anger like this, without warning, without any gloves, it can be deadly. One punch can end his life and ruin yours. It takes grunt to throw it. It takes guts to walk away.
Every minute.
Every hour.
Every mother and father.
Every sister and brother.
Every son and every daughter.
Everyone you see.
Everyone you cheer.
Everyone you watch.
And everyone you hear.
Everyone you meet.
Everyone you know.
Everyone you love.
Everyone is affected.
Reach out and get connected.
Hello and welcome back to Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Monica Bronsgeest, who is a raw fooder and runs a raw food group in Melbourne and is also a homeschool mum. Welcome back to the program, Monica.
Thanks.
Can you tell us about the homeschooling? We started talking a little bit before the break.
So I found homeschooling, and in Victoria to do homeschooling, it's relatively easy. You just have to register as a homeschooler and sign a piece of paper that says that you're teaching all 9 learning areas, and that's all. And I actually decided with my eldest daughter to she did it through distance education. So they provided the curriculum and corrected everything, but she's just doing this all at home. And anyway, my experience with the homeschooling was that she was thriving. All of a sudden, you know, she was just doing so much better than what she was doing through the normal school system. It was just amazing.
And what age did she get to when you started? Or what year did she get to?
I think, my daughter actually did VCE through distance education.
Right, okay, yep.
And now she's studying at university, so online university actually.
Yeah.
Because we live in the country,
wow,
it's actually easier for her to do it online.
Yep.
And that's going really well. So who said that homeschool kids don't get to university?
Yeah, no, I've interviewed a few people that they're in university as well.
Yeah, so I'm very proud of her. Yeah.
And the next
and my youngest daughter, she also didn't have a wonderful time at school, and so by that time I knew about the homeschooling, so I pulled her out of school, and I did the proper homeschooling with her that I'm teaching her myself. When she was at school, I was spending so much time trying to fill in all those holes in her education. She didn't know timetables, you know, all these things that they're meant to be teaching them at school, and she didn't know them, and I'm filling in all the gaps. So I was being her teacher anyway. And so that.
And what age did she start homeschooling?
I think she was in grade 4 or grade 5. Yeah.
And did she prefer it when she pulled out of school? Or
Absolutely.
Would she rather be there?
Oh no. She's very happy about the decision, and I actually sometimes threaten her and say, "Look, if you don't start working, I'll have to put you back in school." No, don't put me back in school. You know.
And she was being. Were you saying before the break she was being bullied a little bit at school?
Both of the girls, but for Emily, my youngest, it was more that she just wasn't learning well at school.
Right.
So for her it was a little bit different. The oldest daughter was more getting the bullying thing, which is sad.
It's very sad. Yeah, it shouldn't happen.
Kids can be very nasty.
But that's good that Emily. Well, it's good that they're both doing so well.
Yeah.
And your oldest son, he didn't get homeschooled?
No, he didn't get homeschooled.
Slipped through the cracks.
Yeah. He didn't understand when I first started homeschooling the girls, and he was actually really angry at me for doing it.
Right.
And it took him a few years before he really understood what we were doing, and he's all good about it now.
Is he? So he's supportive of it now?
Yeah, absolutely. He can sort of see that it does work and it is good. And
I suppose it's just because it's not that common.
Yeah.
It's like with the raw food thing. It's not that common. And years ago it wasn't common. Now it's a lot more people are doing it. But it's when people don't know things.
That's right. Yeah. They're scared of things they don't know.
Exactly.
And, you know, and pulling your child out of school, doing the unconventional thing is a really scary thing to do. You know, hard thing to do.
And how do you structure the days? Like, how do you do the courses and the subjects and the books and everything?
We don't have a lot of structure. We have things that we do at some point during a day, but every day in our lives is different. So some days we'll start off and we'll do writing and we'll do this and we'll do that, but other days we might have an outing or something. So at night time we'll do the learning. You know, it just depends on how the day works. We just juggle it to fit, and it works really, really well.
And is your daughter finding areas and subjects that she prefers more than others?
Yes, yes. She's very hands-on and creative, and she doesn't like the normal subjects that you study at school. She prefers to do other things, you know. My daughter's a practical child, and she likes to do practical things rather than, you know, I don't know, learn about society or, you know.
So you kind of hone in on her interests.
Absolutely,
and try
and that's what you do with
that,
homeschooling. You know, you work out where their areas are and where they're good at and what they're interested in, because that helps them to learn. You know, if you're excited about something, you want to learn about it. So
that's so true. Because I spoke to another homeschool mum, and she was saying that she was trying to get her son to learn maths, and it was just like taking forever, and he wouldn't come on board. So she thought, I'll just leave it for a while and I'll focus on other subjects.
Yes, and that's the beauty of homeschooling, that you can do that. You don't have to, do what everyone else is doing. You can tailor it to meet that child's needs.
And then also years later, I think he must have come to about 13 or something, and he said, you know what, I really want to do maths now.
Yeah.
And he just like thrived on it. Now he really wants to be an engineer, and he's like it's because it's come from him.
Yes.
And she was just following his heart while she was homeschooling him.
Yeah.
Where his interest lies. So it's quite successful.
Yeah.
And what was it where did you come to know about homeschooling?
I found it by accident on the internet, a desperate mother trying to help her children, and I was like Googling on the internet non-stop trying to find an answer to our problems. And I was going to the school trying to get them to help with the bullying and stuff like that, and they can only do a limited amount of stuff, and it wasn't working. So and then I found the homeschooling thing, and I came across a few dead ends along the way, because I had an ex-husband who didn't believe in homeschooling and thought that I was absolutely crazy, and then I found distance education, which she can do at home.
Yeah.
It's still, and so then he allowed me to take my daughter out of school. So I found a way around it, which was lovely.
All right, we're about to go to a break now.
Okay.
You're watching NAT Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly.
I'm able to dream, I'm able to smile, I'm able to grow, and I'll go the extra mile, one day at a time. So put your hands together, we can change lives forever. Together, we're able.
Able Australia. Together, we're able.
To every child's development, an important message from the Australian Toy Association.
There's a difference between forgetting something once and forgetting it many times. There's a difference between forgetfulness and dementia. Talk to someone who understands. Call the National Dementia Helpline on 1800 100 500.
Hello and welcome back to NAT Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Monica Bronsgeest, who is a raw fooder and runs a raw food group in Melbourne, and is also homeschooling her child at the moment. The others are homeschooled. Welcome back to the program.
Thanks.
Now you're only homeschooling one now, aren't you?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
And can you tell us, how has the family unit changed since you've adapted to homeschooling?
Because we're together a lot more, instead of sending a child off for 8 hours, we're all together 24 hours a day type of thing. It just brings you together closer, and I'm teaching her, so that also strengthens the bond between you. And because you're doing a lot more than what normally happens, the bond between the family becomes a lot stronger. And also, in my situation, because of the things that life has thrown at me, we've sort of had to all pull in together.
Yeah.
And so that has made us stronger as
well. So
well.
the unity in the family is a lot stronger. The love for each other has grown.
Yeah. And just the bond between each other.
Yeah.
So
I've heard that often. Because I wasn't sure about homeschooling or anything when I'd first, and I just heard experiences. My sister-in-law, she's very, very close with her eldest daughter.
Yes.
All of her children she's very close with.
Yeah.
But I remember asking her particularly about the eldest one because she breastfed her for the longest. And I said, is it because you breastfed her for the longest? And she said, no, it's because I homeschooled her.
Yes.
Because she went to school as well and then she pulled her out. And this relationship, this bond had grown. And still now it's really strong now that she's older and working and everything.
Yeah. I think like doing the homeschooling thing, I mean, although I'm her mum, I'm her teacher, I'm also her best friend, it becomes, the whole thing becomes a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's probably how families were originally.
Yeah.
Because where did school come from in the first place? Anyway, originally the parents would have taught the children.
That's right. And, I love the fact in homeschooling I can teach her anything I want to teach her. I'm in control of what's happening in her life, you know, which is really good.
Yeah. And what about socially? Because everyone asks that question about socially. It's like one of the main things people say.
Yeah, sure. Well, she doesn't have the social aspect all the time. We're part of a homeschool or several homeschool groups, so we try to go there weekly. She's also does drama. So we have, so we join different groups to try and get that social aspect happening. Yeah. And also with homeschooling, I found that you're sort of integrating with not just people your own age, but people from all ages.
Yeah.
And I think homeschool children develop those skills better than other children because they're exposed to that more than what other children are.
Yeah, I've heard that too, obviously, because they learn to speak to all ages. Like in the homeschool group we've just started, Nina's only 6, but the homeschool group's like from 0, because some of the mums still have little children, and to like 15, 16. And so they all play together. It's like in a big school ground.
Yeah. And I found also, like, we've had done sporting activities as a homeschool group, and it's all the kids playing together, not just the little kids and playing together and the big kids playing together. Everyone plays together, and it's, there's none of that bullying happening. It's so different.
So they seem so much. They seem very well balanced.
Yes.
That was what attracted me to it, because I saw my nieces and nephews how they were, and I thought, wow, they're such well balanced, calm individuals.
Yeah. And I mean, like when I originally did the homeschooling thing, my son, because he didn't understand it, didn't know what it was about, and even now when we talk about homeschooling, he says, I understand it all and I see that it's a good thing, but socially, I think she still misses out. But I disagree with that.
And how does she feel? I guess she's the main
one. Look, she would like to have a lot more friends her own age and that sort of thing, but I think she does pretty good.
Yeah.
And and we're always looking for ways to expand her social network.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And on the raw food topic, is there any kind of things, because this is the last segment, that you want to leave our viewers with? Say, for example, someone's just watching, they've just heard about it now for the first time. What sort of things could they do to maybe improve their life or improve their diet or their lifestyle? Have you got any tips you want to pass on from your experience?
The more raw food that you can put in your life, the better it is for you. You don't have to go 100% raw, but have some raw food. It's not hard. And if you're interested in raw food, join the Melbourne Raw Food Group, or a raw food group wherever you are. And that gives you a lot of inspiration and information, and that would.
And is this something you think you'll be doing for the rest of your life?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love it. It's
totally.
my life.
Totally convinced of it.
Yeah.
And overall, in your physical health, have you noticed, what sort of improvements have you noticed since you did it?
Energy beyond belief.
Yeah.
It's amazing. absolutely amazing. And people say, oh, I can't understand why you've got so much energy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know why I've got that much energy, because I'm eating food that's nutrient dense.
And did you have any ailments at all before you started raw food?
No, nothing.
Right. It's interesting because years ago I met this guy who had cancer, bowel cancer, so he went on a raw food diet, and he said to me that the only thing that would make him give up the raw food is if he had to see billboard, seeing all the billboards, all the advertising and everything. If he says, if I die, it's because of those billboards and the advertising. And he's like, I was filming him. It was just a little, thing. And he said that was the reason. I was thinking, and I started to think before when we were talking off camera, that it was because it wasn't his choice to do it. He felt he had to do it.
Yes, I do it because I've chosen to do it, and that's the difference.
That's the difference, isn't it? It has to be your choice.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
it's
he died.
with anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, although he was a really good example to other people for years before he died, it just got too much for him, he said, with all those advertisements.
Yes.
But he helped a lot of people that were sick as well. And I think he stretched himself to the limit. You know how some people are so passionate about something, they want to give it to everybody else, but he wore himself out in the process as well.
And, talking about my son, when he started having sleepovers at other people's places, and he would come back home and he'd say to me, Mum, I don't understand. I went over to so-and-so's house and they didn't have any fruit and no vegetables in their house. He goes, how do people live like that?
Exactly. How do people live like that? Thanks so much for coming on the program.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
You've been watching Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich and our guest was Monica Bronskist. I hope you enjoyed the program. See you again soon.
Alleluia. Om Mani Padme Om. Allah.
Welcome. You're watching Harmony and Diversity. Today we're speaking with Javed Safdar Chowdhury. He's the president of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association Australia Victorian Chapter. And last week we explored a lot about Ahmadiyya. Javed, let's talk more about you.
Sure.
Because you were a migrant and Australia's a country of many migrants.
True.
And it's interesting to explore the migrant experience. So Where did it start for you where you made the decision that you were going to migrate? Why was that?
Myself, as I mentioned, 1889, that's coincident, the figures are so matching. 1889 was when Ahmadiyya phase started, and 1989 was the time when I came to Australia. Before coming to Australia, I did my studies, graduation, double degree in pharmacy and law. That was my qualification before coming to Australia, but I did come as a postgraduate student for research work here in Australia. And at that stage, to be honestly, I didn't know much about Australia, and not many people knew about Australia other than MCG and cricket. That was the major
of course.
The thing I knew about Australia, but education system was good, and I was more inclined to come into further studies and research work here. So I came as a researcher, as students here, and I did my post-graduation studies here, originally in pharmacy, sustained release drugs I did research on, and then being a bit of administration sort of inclined, I did my master's in business administration as well later on. And I was offered, staying in this country, seeing this fun for a couple of years, doing my studies, I like it. I not only like it, but I loved it. That's the way I decided to stay and explore, and I was very fortunate that I was offered a very good job in one of the multinational pharmaceutical as well. So I started my career there, they sponsored me, and now I settled here as a skilled migrant.
Yes, right. Okay.
And I have seen, as the president of the community and being here for a number of years, how people going through hardships, different experiences, struggle. Efforts are very important. But good thing in this country, I felt, I've seen through my experience, you do the hard work, it get rewarded. You get the reward of your efforts and your sincerity and your faithfulness to this country and this land. Fair system does exist there. That's if you compare myself with where I originally came from. Unfortunately, the fair system is not there that fair as it's supposed to be or should be. So I settled here, and I did work for last number of years since in different professional fields on administration mainly, research work, and I'm fine here. But I have seen people coming as a migrant as well, coming as refugees who struggle for a little while, but eventually what I've seen, they do get paid, they do get rewarded, and they do settle in. I do have number of experience and examples in the community. People with a very good qualification came in, they did struggle for a couple of years, 3, 4, 5 years, hard jobs they have to go through, and that's fine. Even they do the hard work, odd jobs, being a doctor, if somebody drives a taxi for a couple of years or do a security job, still that get paid, and he can live a reasonable, honorable living here. And eventually, if the intention is there and efforts are there, they do get recognized in their professions as well. But I was fortunate that I didn't have to go through that process.
No. Well, just as you say, here you have the opportunity. Let's just look at what it may have been like for you if you stayed in Pakistan. What were the barriers and things which were raised in your pathway there?
If I was in Pakistan, I'll share a little bit my own background. My father was in Air Force. He was in intelligence services actually. And being an Ahmadi, he was badly discriminated. Opportunities of promotion and getting the right services, he was never given that one, and he was openly told that you deny your faith and then you'll be considered. And I had, at that stage, because I was born into an Air Force camp and grown up in that army sort of atmosphere, I had very much passion to be an army officer or Air Force pilot or something as well. But I could never see my future there. My parents put me into different direction, like studying the medicine and pharmacy and that sort of thing. They knew that in that society, until I have a technical skills, I won't be able to even survive there.
Yes.
And I was fortunate that with the same qualification, same personality, as an Ahmadi I was there, I doubted that I would get the opportunity of fairness there.
Yes.
And as I have seen many other Ahmadis suffering, there are many Ahmadis in Pakistan who are much more qualified than me, I believe much more talented than me, and ability and skills are there, but they don't get the recognition. Discrimination is everywhere, starting from school. You get discrimination in schooling, you get discrimination in higher education, you get discrimination in the government services, even in the private services sector, in the society, in the shops, in the markets, everywhere there's discrimination. You don't get your rights.
So if you had no education, or very little education, and you're just a simple labourer, your prospects wouldn't be that good then?
Here in Australia?
No,
or?
in Pakistan.
No. Even in Pakistan, people with the high skill, how many doctors have been killed? How many lawyers have been killed? How many other professionals have been killed or denied their access to their rights? So that's the example of the people with the higher education, qualification, world-known sort of qualifications, talent. Dr. Abdul Salam, I share you example. Only Muslim scientist with the Nobel Prize in the world was an Ahmadi. We are proud of him. But what Pakistan government has given recognition, what Pakistani society has given him the recognition. He is not recognized even as a national hero. Only one Muslim and only one Pakistani in the world who has won the Nobel Prize in physics, and he given up all his titles and everything for the sake of Pakistan. He decided not to take the nationality or citizenship of any other country other than Pakistan. What recognition he has, if you do a bit of research work on him, what's the status of him, how does it got recognized? A Nobel Prize physicist who does the Nobel Prize in physics, been recognized, and laborer are unfortunately nowhere.
Yes, that's bad, isn't it?
But good thing with the Ahmadiyya faith is, our supreme head of the time back in 80s, he's promoted and that every Ahmadi, girl and boy, should seek the education. Secular education I'm talking about, other than religious education. That's one
when
thing.
they do their secular education, I'm sure they'll be taught the time, and we've run out of it. So we'll go to a break. We'll be back in a moment.
Statistics show 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually assaulted before their 18th birthday. Help break the silence on child sexual assault. Go to bravehearts.org.au.
You teach us strangers are dangerous. But someone we know is a much more likely threat. You teach us strangers are dangerous. But who will help when you're not around? Create a world without unnecessary fear. Prepare, don't scare.
Come on, fellas. Let's get down there.
Hang on. Where's Dave?
Oh, hey fellas. What do you think? Pretty cool, eh?
Real men look out for each other. Don't let your mates drink and drown.
Tick, 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 fashion.
Tick, 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 fun.
Tick, 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 food.
Tick, 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 festivals.
All make up 15 fabulous minutes.
In a half-hour special.
Presented to you by Jacqueline and Steve.
Every week. Time's up.
Welcome back. You're watching Harmony in Diversity, and we're speaking with Javed Safdar Chowdhury, and he's the president of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association of Australia, Victorian chapter. The association in Australia and internationally, but let's just talk about Australia for the moment. Sure. You're involved in quite a few charity activities and community support activities. Give us an idea what they might be.
Yeah, definitely. Along with, as we did discuss before, that we have active part of the interfaith dialogue in different communities. That's the interaction with the faith communities. But on general, wider level, as an Australian society, we actively participate in different social activities. For example, Red Cross door knock appeal. All Ahmadis, men and women, for 1 week every year we do celebrate Australian Red Cross door knock appeal. We do organize special event for that one. People go door to door and do the collection fundraising for the humanity under the umbrella of Ahmadiyya, as well under the banner of Red Cross. That's for Australia Cleanup Day. We do activity for last 2 years. Interesting figure that Australian Victorian chapter of Ahmadiyya had on one single side the highest number Australia-wide to participate in Australia Cleanup Day for last 2 years in a row. That is what the Victorian chapter has done. And similar thing happens on other chapters as well, like Queensland, Adelaide, South Australia, Western Australia, Sydney, which is our headquarter. So all different branches do the same thing, and we do similar activity on national levels as well. Our Supreme, one example for the door knock appeal, for example, our head of the Australian chapter, head of whole Australia, he himself take a mug and go for the collection on the day. He starts himself, he's an elderly person, he said, I'll do myself and everybody follows. That would do. That's the example. When there was couple of years back, there was a flooding in Queensland, for example. Ahmadiyya community and volunteers were the first to respond to those disasters and offered help. And there was in the media, print media as well, electronic media, it was recognition and coverage. In the Queensland, there was a Black Fire Day, unfortunate day in Victoria a few years back. Although we were a bit far from there and we didn't have that technical volunteer like handling firefighting skills or abilities, but Ahmadiyya community in Victoria, we did send them straight away quickly a list of our houses. Every Ahmadi in Victoria did offer their house for the accommodation of those people who suffered. And they accepted very gladly and thanked us as well, but they said because the distance is a bit further, so if there'll be need, there you are on list. So those sort of activities, being a very passionate this country, very first activity of the year, we do have a calendar of year for whole year. First activity every year is the Australia Day. We do very passionately, very enthusiastically, with the emotions and feeling and thanks to this country, do celebrate Australia Day on the platform of Ahmadiyya, where we do invite all the locals, all our neighbors, all officials, councillors, member of parliaments, and the organizer of different communities. So that sort of activities we involve. That's the Victorian side. Then similar on national level, and internationally going is definitely got more wider. And Humanity First, for example, is the Ahmadiyya charity program, which is for whole human being. No discrimination, are you Ahmadi or not. In matter of fact, it's more for non-Ahmadis, especially in Africa. Ahmadiyya community is running hundreds of schools and hospitals, charity programs. Earthquakes happens Pakistan. In Pakistan, there was a few years earthquake. Ahmadiyya was the first to go Ahmadiyya doctors teams. Every Ahmadi professional do some time in the life, offer them for the charity. For example, doctor donate their couple of years, for example. They said, we volunteer for 2 years to the community services. And Ahmadiyya organization on the central command, they send them to different countries of the world, especially where they need it. For example, African countries, Indian remote areas, remote area of Pakistan where needed, Bangladesh. So that's what we're doing. Similarly, and Ahmadiyya is currently running big projects in Africa other than schools and hospitals. Water supply, hand pumps program. They have supplied, I think, hundreds and thousands of hand pumps in different remote areas of Africa where there's a shortage of water. Solar systems they are installing. So these sort of charity programs are ongoing for the benefit of the humanity. And there's no discrimination, and mainly they are most of them are not Ahmadi, not Muslims. They're human though. So they're doing for humanity, not for any creed or any religion.
That's very encouraging. So the Ahmadis, you implied that there's an international coordination of that. But at the Australian level, how is that response coordinated? Like when the bushfires broke out, what happened then? Who responded to
bushfire.
offer the houses?
Okay.
Yes.
What happens that the organizational structure we have a head of the Ahmadiyya community Australia-wide. He is the Amir or national president, you can say. Just to understand, but the designation is Amir Jamaat, Amir of the Ahmadiyya. Similarly, on each state you have the head of the state or president of the states. And again, further down in different areas of a state, for example, we do have 3 further breakdowns because wider community in Sydney or in New South Wales is further breakdown. Similarly, we do have the areas. So wherever there's a need of the time and immediate response can be, the head of that area get coordinated with the consultation of the hires.
Right.
If something happened in Victoria, even the direction even come from Sydney headquarters, but that goes and filter through the Victorian head.
Yes.
And if Victoria needs any help, they will ask not only to Sydney, but through Sydney will ask the help to the other states or other branches as well, to New South Wales or.
So it's a response, sometimes a response at the ground level, at the immediate ground level, and then it goes back up the system and then
back up the system, and then vice versa it comes back as well. And then we do have the list of the things, for example, doctors, nurses, electricians, builders, different professionals. We do have already list of the people, which areas we have, how many experts. And then we approach them, okay, we needed people doing these things. And if they volunteer, and then on top of that one, there are layman volunteers as well. For example, I'm a pharmacist, but help is needed in construction. Still, I can go there and help them, but not as a pharmacist, but as a laborer.
Right.
So that's the purpose we do.
Thanks for that, Javed. We're out of time. We'll go to a break.
Behind your favourite team, there's another team. At all levels, in all codes, sports trainers are working to make sport safer. Sports trainers learn injury prevention techniques from doctors and other health professionals so they can provide the right first aid when the going gets tough. If your team could do with a sports trainer, maybe it's time you got a little closer to the action. Find out how you can become a sports trainer. Sports Medicine Australia, providing the team behind the team.
Here is some brilliant news for adults who have difficulties with spelling, reading a newspaper or phone bill, or writing letters and emails. It can be easier to improve your reading and writing skills than to keep putting it off. Take the plunge. Call the Reading Writing Hotline, 1300 655 06.
1300 655 06.
It could change your life.
I want to get the word out to blokes about a little gland called the prostate. It's only the size of a walnut, but it can cause a whole lot of grief. Prostate cancer deaths pretty much equal breast cancer deaths. The problem is, if you wait too long, it may be too late. It took one of my mates. Don't make me angry. Talk to your doctor about your prostate, and if necessary, get it checked. You'd be nuts to leave it to chance.
Most of us experience life's ups and downs, but we can always appreciate the finer details that make life worth living. But for 1 in 5 of us, mental illness can make us lose sight of the big picture. That's when Paran Mission can lend a helping hand. We've been caring for the community for over 60 years, finding a place for people with no place. Show your support and stand up for mental illness. Visit our website and make a donation today.
Welcome back. You're watching Harmony in Diversity, and we're speaking with Javed Safdar Chowdhury, and he's the president of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association Australia, Victorian chapter. We were discussing before that Ahmadiyya differs from some practice of Islam because of its interpretation, its different interpretation of the Quran in particular. But one of the 5 pillars of Islam, could you explain how that operates, just from the perspective of Islam, and also are there any variations which the Ahmadiyya have in relation to the 5 pillars? I suspect there's not.
Sure, no. I'll take one by one.
Yes,
the 5 pillars, and the first is the kalima or shahada. That means to believe that Allah, the God Almighty, is one. You believe in one God, and Muhammad, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is the prophet and messenger of Allah, being in Islam. Explanation is that you don't rely or trust. Trust is wrong. You don't rely on anybody other than the God, the Creator.
Yes.
You don't seek help and guidance. You seek from the God. That's the first segment. That's where the interpretation difference are. Ahmadiyya believe that true Islam has deviated a little bit. They are relying rather on the God Almighty. They are relying on they go to, for example, graves to ask for the guidance. Somebody needs employment, or somebody needs a child, offspring or child or something. They go and bow not to the God, they bow to the graves. That's why the reformer of Ahmadiyya faith said this is wrong. You seek guidance. You can pray for those people who are in the graves. For them, you can help them, but you can't seek somebody who has passed away. You can't help you. The only can help you the people who are alive, human being, and you can help me, and somebody else can help me who is alive in some way, but somebody who has passed away cannot help. But God is always been alive and will stay alive. Yes. That's why seek help and guidance from God, and there's only one God. And Prophet Muhammad is the latest messenger of God, who has law-bearing religion and faith in the earth is Islam. That's the Muslim believe in, and that's the first pillar of Islam.
Yes.
Second is namaz or salat. There are prayers, 5 prayers, compulsory prayers in the day. There's different timing, and you go to offer them. And that again you seek guidance and help from God, Allah Almighty, in those prayers. Prayers are nothing else other than just asking, seeking guidance and help from God. All Muslims do that one. And but again, there's adulteration, modification in the prayers. The timings wise as well, there's extra things has been added. So basic prayer are 5 basic prayers, no less or more.
And do you have mosques available to you at any time? Do you have a...
Yes, throughout the world, the Ahmadiyya mosques, where you can go 5 times daily prayers, and special congregational prayer on Friday as well, apart from 5 daily congregational prayer. But again, there is a flexibility in the religion. The priority or the best thing is to go to the mosque for prayer. But Islam doesn't bound you. If you have for example, distance is too far, you can't go to the prayer, then you can pray at home.
Yes.
You can do the congregational prayer with your family. Those flexibilities are in the moderation, and flexibilities in Islam. Friday prayers, extra effort make to do this one. That's once in a week, and that's again obligatory in a way if you can make it. So yes, prayers centers are there.
Are there.
And
the next point?
Next point is the fasting.
Fasting, yes.
The objective and reasoning for fasting in Holy Quran, Allah says that the fasting has been prescribed on you as it was prescribed for the previous nations, so you become righteous. The objective is to become righteous, to go away from the false things, false practices, sins, and just stop yourself. The meaning of fasting is to stop yourself.
Yes.
As a gesture, there you are stopping from early mornings, from dusk to dawn, from eating and drinking, or drinking mean not alcohol, mean any kind of drinking, water, any fluid. So that's just one symbol. That's to show you're stopping yourself for the even allowable things. When you stop yourself from things which are, for example, you're allowed to drink, you're allowed to eat, and you're allowed to, for legal marital relationships. But for that period of time, you stop even with the allowable matters for the sake of Allah Almighty, to become righteous and to control yourself for certain period of time, prescribed time. When you stop yourself for that period of time, then how can you do the forbidden things, wrong things, criminal things. So that's the whole objective, to purify yourself and to practice. And when you adopt those noble practices in your life.
We're going to be coming pretty close to the end, so could we just do the other two, just cover the other two fairly quickly? So we've done the three, the fasting, and what are the other two pillars?
Other two is zakat, or financial sacrifices. No system can work without financial aid. If somebody says that any organization and religion don't have any financial bait, they won't be telling logical thing.
Right.
So to run the system, you need the sacrifices, and Allah Almighty has in Holy Quran said many times towards the financial sacrifices for the sake of Allah, for right purposes. And the last one is the Hajj, pilgrimage to Mecca, which is a place of unity, central point for whole human being. If you can afford to do that one once in life, at least you go there.
Yes.
So that's the Hajj. But as a summary, Holy Quran is the complete guidance for whole human being, whole humanity, especially for the Muslims as being their holy book. And the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the complete example and practical implementation of that guidance for us. If we follow those, and no Muslim, no human can deviate from the righteousness.
No. Now those five pillars are reflected in the rulings of many religions, of course.
That's true.
Called different things.
That's true.
Thank you so much, Jawed. You've been watching Harmony and Diversity. Next week we'll be speaking with Dr. Malik Muhammad Majoka, who's a general practitioner, an office bearer in the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association of Australia, Victorian chapter, and we'll be discussing his refugee story. We'll see you then.
Baha'u'llah, Shanti Om, Allahu
So how have things been going?
When a young person is diagnosed with cancer, it affects their family, their friends, their entire world. Red Kite supports young people with cancer and those around them in real ways.
Yeah, hi, it's Michael. Yeah, I'm at the hospital.
We rely on your generosity to make a positive difference in the lives of thousands of families every year. We can't always make things better, but with your help, we can lighten the load.
Transports of Distant Delight is a mixed selection of transportation pictures from here and there and almost everywhere, but not quite. Some quirky, some mundane, some from the past, perhaps reflecting a transit system that has vanished into history, and some from thriving transport entities that continue to endure despite the constant pressures from the all-pervasive motorcar. Enjoy. Live streamed from Echuca each week, this is MELfeed.video, a different sort of TV.
The following program carries an MA classification and may contain adult themes and coarse language. MELfeed.video advises that it is suitable for viewers aged 15 plus.
Well, here we are at one of Melbourne's biggest street festivals.
You're watching 15 fabulous minutes.
St Kilda Festival. Keep watching.
Today, I can tell you that right now. Of course, there's food, there's dancing, there's singing, there's people. We're surrounded by people here.
You've got a lot of balls, don't you?
Yeah.
Coming down this street.
Yeah.
What brings you down here?
Charity work.
Charity work. Oh, you're giving me a free one. Thanks. Oh, I'm not getting far, am I? I don't think this is working.
Hey,
keep coming back. That's not charity.
Sheridan. I'm Jacqueline. We're here for donuts, so they're good. And the sexy guys. Yeah. Okay.
Cruising, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. Nice weather. It's a beautiful day.
On the street at the moment, we're scanning the crowd, trying to check out some people. Hello there, sir. How are you going?
Good, thanks, and you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. Now, how are you enjoying the day today?
Okay, I've actually just arrived, so I haven't seen too much of it, but looks like a lot of people. Take some time getting places, but we'll see how it goes.
Where have you been? Have you been up the other end?
No, I've actually just coming from there, and too many people over here, and just trying to make our way, waiting for my sister. Lauren, if you're out there, we're over here. Just get over here, please.
Shopping is one of the things to do down here, and what brings you down here today?
Oh, we just wanted to have a slice of St Kilda's cultural life.
Have you been to St Kilda Festival before?
Never.
Never? Ah, so young virgins here for the first party, and are you enjoying it?
Oh, absolutely.
What's been the highlight for you tonight? Apart from me.
The throngs of people going past and...
Well, you're having a bit of a perv, are you?
Actually, yes.
A good perv?
Yes, good one.
Yeah, good
It's
one.
been quite enlightening.
So now it's the time for a bit of shopping.
Absolutely. We've come to the market part now. We want to have some good bargains.
So where do you suggest I go?
Not down that way because it's very busy.
Very busy. I think it's busy everywhere. Half of Melbourne it is here.
That's true. I think I'd like to go towards the beach though. I'd head to the beach a bit.
We'll head for the beach. Why don't we check out what's happening down the beach?
Great hustle there by Mary Gowd. Pull off the line.
Hello.
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 Live broadcast from Sprinkles.
We are here. What are we here for?
To enjoy the day.
And have fun. And
run amok, create mischief. If you can't be good, be naughty.
Cause lots of mischief.
Cause lots of mischief.
And see lots of friends.
And drink lots of alcohol.
And hear good music.
And hear wicked music from all the dance crews who are joining together today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
It's wicked.
I'm at the beach and I'm watching the volleyball match and it's going off here, isn't it? It's going off.
Oh.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, hello.
Hello. You enjoying the game?
Which game? That game over there?
Yeah, the volleyball game.
Oh, yeah, it's not too bad. They're, I think they can do better with them than they've got with a thong there. I think the thong's holding them back, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not going for any boundary or 4s or 6 shots there. It's a bit lame, but they're having fun.
So what brings you here today?
Oh, just having a good time.
Just having a good time. And yourself? You having a good time?
Yeah, I've come over from Auckland, New Zealand, and I'm just having a great time.
Auckland, New Zealand, all the way just for volleyball matching?
That's it, yes.
Have you been anywhere else today as well?
No, just the St Kilda Festival.
One of the best parties to ever hit Melbourne, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. This is a lovely place.
Oh, he's out! Oh, he's out! Oh!
I like coming to St Kilda Festival once a year for one reason only. It's the only time of the year I can see every single walk of life in Melbourne. And this place really goes off.
I am so lost. Where is that Steve?
Oh my God, there's just too many people. I wonder where Olivia is.
You think that people would have better things to do than to talk on their mobiles? Hi, hello? Excuse me? Hi.
Oh my God.
No, come back.
Points. With Anton John Day in third place from Melbourne. $1,000 at stake today for the winner. $250 per second. More importantly, points.
We're catching mobile phone users. Hi there, how you going?
Very well, thanks.
Fantastic. Who are you talking to?
I'm just talking to a friend.
Now, you'd think that there's so much to do here at the St Kilda Festival that you wouldn't be talking on your phone.
I know, but I got a phone call. What can I do?
Oh, fair enough. You having a ball?
Yeah, it's great.
Can we talk to your friend? Is he still on the phone?
Oh, it's all right.
Oh, it's all right. Oh, it's a girlfriend, I bet. Oh, you better watch it. I know that line. St Kilda Festival is chock-a-block, and it's probably one of the biggest festivals to ever hit Melbourne. You can be old and you can be young. As young as this little girl down here. How old are you? 4 years old, and we've got the tambourine boy. Are you playing?
I'm a dancer.
You're a dancer?
And a performer.
Oh, well, perform for me. Come on, give it a hit. Can we go off? Let's go off now. Hey, anyone for pizza?
Can you hear this? It's all happening here down here at St Kilda Fest. Oh, excuse us. Oh, check her out. Going off here at the St Kilda Fest. This is a fabulous blend here down at Ackland Street.
We have to learn how to dance. Do the dance. Is this a hip thing? You got to do the hip?
Huh?
You teach me how to dance? Are you going to move the hip? Am I doing it right? Are you going to bend the knees? Oh, I think I got it.
Again, you do it with me. Am I kind of doing it? Yeah. Am I getting this? Got it. Yeah. I'm thinking I should stick to presenting.
For applause the cheering leads. So everyone, give it up for very nice one to help me out. Give it up for Jason. Here we go, folks. Eat the apple first. I've seen it done. Don't touch that foot and that leg, folks.
I love the people, I love the variety of people, and I love the music. It just goes off every year, and that's why we come back.
At the Esplanade, and there's a huge stage behind us, and it's fantastic, let me tell you. And we're bumped into this gentleman here. Your name, sir?
Oh, Possum. I'm really into gender non-specifics, if you don't mind.
Fantastic. There you go. All characters here at the St Kilda Fest. Are you having a great day?
Head and heart in harmony, just wonderfully.
And what brings you down here?
The music.
The music? You're walking around with your tambourine. Show us how you work it. Going off. Check it out. Well done to you.
Zaba. This is the dance where you shake that tush, don't you?
No, I don't.
Where did you learn this move?
I'm from Canada.
You're from Canada.
That's how we dance in Canada.
Oh, that's how you dance in Canada. Well, where did the Zaba start from? Do you know?
Excuse me?
Where did this dance start from originally?
In my living room.
In your living room. Francis. Keep swinging it. Come on, swing that.
I've got Fiona and Ingrid here, and okay, tell me exactly what you both do.
Well, we're playing the drums in the Melbourne Samba School, and we're having a really good time, basically, just getting into the rhythm and letting your body go and letting the rhythm come out in any form, in any way, just getting it out there, dancing, moving.
Fantastic. Now, do you need any training to do any of this kind of thing, or did you just jump into it?
Pretty much rhythm. Rhythm, and that's it.
It's all about the hips, is it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And where did you learn this dance?
Fiji.
Fiji.
Yeah.
Where did...
From one dance party to another, we're going off down here. We're making our way down the Esplanade, and well, look at this. You know, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. How are you going? What's your name?
I'm Joy.
Nice to meet you. Now, how do you dance the way you do?
I've been practicing a lot, more than 5 years, right? That's why I just credit by myself.
Fantastic. There you go. Individualism all the way happening down here at the St Kilda Festival. Go on. Show me how it's done.
They're going off.
Hang on. It's going off.
Where's that at? It's upstairs, y'all. And I'm going. She can't straight, y'all. Oh yeah,
Okay, this is...
On watching 15 fabulous minutes for more highlights.
Ooh, and some low lives here on Channel 31. Will this thing ever stop?
I feel gross.
I'm busy.
Get me off.
Excuse us.
Get me off.
Stop now. You can stop now.
There has to be a time limit to this thing.
I think we're stuck in the Twilight Zone. Never getting off this thing. Let us off.
How many times have we got around?
Help!
Get me out!
Not again.
I don't know.
Oh dear, can we call somebody? Call 911.
Call 999. Yeah, I reckon.
00.
91000.
Oh, we're stopping. We're stopping. Oh, we missed it by one.
Ain't happening.
Let's one more round.
Try to find a resolution. Something's going around my head, yeah.
You spit now, it'll hit the guy on the third carriage down there.
It's all a matter
yeah,
of
go
timing.
spit.
Go,
Oh. Oh, so close.
The miss.
Oh my God, are you filming?
When your reaction is a better after said. Working out a plan, get my message there. Gotta find a way how to get through. I'm going crazy, baby.
I'm standing on the beautiful Esplanade beach. I got the beach behind you. It's all very exciting stuff. And, you know, as one of the many things that you can do around here, there's, you know, the ice cream stand. It's been a long day. I think I'm going to treat myself and go and grab one. There aren't any ice creams. I'm going to have to go and find another place.
Elvis has left the building. No, Elvis does live.
Love me tender, love me true. All my dreams fall through. Oh my darling, I love you, and I
I'm getting trampled on, something drastic, but hey, it's pretty huge up here. Let's have a chat to this lady's here. Hello, how you going? I'm good, thanks. I'm wonderful. What's your name? My name's Cherie Thompson. Cherie, are you having a ball? I'm having a great time. Excellent. Now who's up on stage? Yeah, great. Yeah, who are they? Machine Gun Fellatio. Ah, there you go. The name of this song is Romance. A fan. I've met a fan.
Major head banging stuff. And look at these guys here. I think I'm just going to relax. It's all wet. It's all wet. Now you guys have come so prepared. You've got the picnic basket. Where's the food?
I don't know.
You don't know, but lots of grog, I bet.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the fucking food. This is the grog.
There's the grog. Okay, what have we got in this bin of goodies? Bring it over. We're going to raid it. Open the lid.
Hey, have you got a fucking warrant?
I've got a warrant.
Have you got a warrant for
I've got a warrant. I've got a warrant. Your name's on it. It's a beer warrant.
Yeah?
Yeah?
You reckon?
What are you drinking? Are you going to show me what you're drinking?
If I show you what we're drinking, do you bring us double back?
Can I bring what?
Double back.
Double back. I'll try. Is it full?
Yeah.
You haven't done enough yet. Oh, what are we? We're going to go through it. The barman here.
Hey guys, buy a beer off you.
Big beer. You want to buy a beer? Oh, you haven't got enough money for beer. There's a beer thing over there. Yeah, I'm sure of it.
Fantastic. I'm a reasonable man.
I think we opened Pandora's box here, didn't we? Sunblock? How many people have you rubbed today?
Approximately about 340.
340. Yeah, you look so sunburnt.
What are you doing?
There's nothing in the... Oh, there you go. Beautiful. Just leave that there. Rub it in.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you, Steve.
Got to look like these roadies and a little bit on the nose. There you go.
Good afternoon, John Day in third place from Melbourne. $1,000.
I found ice cream. I found ice cream.
You're supposed to use the mic, not the ice cream. Where are you guys from?
I'm Melburnian, he's
English?
now in Melbourne. No. Dublin.
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 Accent.
Hey. So what brings you here?
I don't know, but you must be having great buzz with this camera, aren't you? So...
Yeah, but this microphone's not working too well. This is so terrible. Yeah, have a bite of that.
Can this get any better? I'm telling you. All right, let's check out who we can find this time round. Hello there. How you going?
Hi.
How are you enjoying the day?
What am I talking to?
You're talking to Channel 31. It's called 15 Minutes of Fame.
Ah, right.
It's all very exciting stuff. Tell me, how are you enjoying your day?
Oh, good.
Yeah? Have you been up the other end?
Yep.
And how have you found it?
Very crowded.
Very crowded?
Yeah.
But good?
Yeah. But good.
Excellent.
Good music.
Good music? Excellent. Well, have a good one, okay?
Okay.
Well, here we are at the St Kilda Festival with all my friends. We'll say hello first. Hello over here. First one over here. What's your name?
Mel.
Mel. It's nice to see you again. And you are?
Sarah.
Sarah, nice girl. And her boyfriend behind her?
Pat away, mate.
That's Pat. And what brings us here today, I think, is, well, first of all, St Kilda Festival being a traditional thing every year. Wonderful weather, wonderful people.
We just
Steve?
got one motto first. Our motto
Oh,
for
I
all
don't
our
think it's
group
fair.
is go hard or go home. All right? Everybody remember that one.
Or fit in or off.
And this is our friend Lena. Happy St Kilda Festival!
I'm very happy to be here. Woo, woo, woo.
Now we're working our way down to another dance party. We've moved away from the little grunge area, the little mosh pit happening down the other end in front of the Esplanade. We've moved down to, where's this? Fitzroy Street. Fitzroy Street, that's where we're at. And well, we're working our way down there and it should be bad.
Got a star here. You are such a star, aren't you?
Thanks.
What a star.
How you
Now, what are
going?
you doing down here?
I've just been having a bit of a boogie down that way.
Did a boogie? What's going on down there?
I don't know, just a few people having
it
a
happening?
bit of fun. Apparently so.
Stay down there. Why are you moving?
It got a bit shit, so we're moving on now.
A bit shit.
What's this for?
Nothing
Who am I
works.
talking to?
You're talking to the camera woman over there.
Hi,
Who's
camera
tan,
woman.
gorgeous. This is for 31.
How you going?
So where are you going now? What's the next step?
I don't know. We'll assess our options as we head down the street.
More
you know?
partying?
Yeah.
Is that all you've done is just dance, dance, dance?
No, we've had a few beers in between dancing as well.
Yeah, a few beers.
But it's all good.
It's all good?
It's all
a bit
good.
red. I think there's some block
the
tents
sun.
down there.
Yeah, I think I need some. What do you
Yeah.
reckon?
Yeah, it's down there.
I'll
Straight
head that
down.
way. Although the sun's gone down.
Yeah, I don't know. Moon tan.
Yeah, that's it.
There are people here that are full on spaced out, like really wacky. And then you've got the really sophisticated ones. You've got people from all walks of life here. That's the best thing about being here at the St Kilda Fest. You don't know quite what you're going to end up bumping into or who's going to be walking behind or in front of the camera. Hello, how you going?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. And your name?
Mel.
Mel, are you having fun today?
Having an excellent time, it's great.
What's been your favourite part? Have you been up to the other end of, well, the whole festival?
Yeah, we've been everywhere, but this is pretty cool down here. The music's good. The music's happening, so yeah, it's great.
Starting to get a little bit addicted to this, and we're at a party over here. Look at this girl. She has come. You've come so prepared tonight, haven't you? You've got like the complete little blue dress on.
Matching everything.
Matching everything. How long have you been here?
All day.
All day.
Not here, everywhere.
So you've been drinking lots of water, I hope?
Oh yes, of course.
So what's the highlight?
Machine Gun Fellatio.
Machine Gun Fellatio, the big concert.
Pretty good as well.
That was pretty good.
They were fantastic.
So how long are you going to stay here then?
About another hour or so.
Another hour or so.
Having fun?
I'm having an absolute ball today. It's been such beautiful weather. Everyone's out finally. The whole weekend's been pretty dead, but today has been beautiful weather. It's got everyone out.
What time did you get here?
Got here about 3, I think, actually. 3 o'clock.
That's not bad, not bad. And you're going to be here all night?
I got off the other end of Ackland Street. I walked straight to the rave party, and I'll be here till at least 9 o'clock when it finishes.
Oh, don't tell me you haven't even been up.
After that, I'll be partying with the cleaners till 2 in the morning, apparently.
Too much energy there. You are, what are you on?
Nothing, Red Bull.
Red Bull. You are charging.
I know.
It's the music, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it.
So what brings you down here today?
We've been here since the morning, so
Aren't you tired yet?
no. I slept last night all night, so
Oh, okay. So what did you like about the street party today?
everything. The
Everything.
food.
Your name?
Rob.
And your name, ladies?
Annalise. I was waiting for you
Space
guys.
Age. And Danny.
Excellent. Okay, now what's been your favourite part of the festival? Have you been here all day?
Yeah,
No.
about 2 hours. Yeah, I've been 2 hours. Probably Ackland Street.
Yeah, it's pretty busy up there, isn't it?
TP Pen, he's going
the
on.
TP rocks.
He's just jamming it.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Now what do you plan to do for the rest of the night?
Probably go home and sleep. I'm going to go home
Rock.
and sleep.
Rock, you going to keep on going?
Keep rocking all night.
Oh, come on, it is Sunday night. You don't have to work tomorrow.
Well, I do. They
I
don't.
have to work today. That's it.
That's it. So
Sun has gone down and my feet are really killing me. It's only taken us a whole day to make it to Fitzroy Street.
that's exactly, actually we
Thanks
did
to
start.
you. That's because you were down the dancing at the dance party. I couldn't find you for about 6 hours.
We lost each other for a while there, but at least I found you.
Yes, we're found. At last we're found. Have you enjoyed it?
I'm having a ball. Yeah, it's fantastic. Like you said, it's taken us all all day to make our way to this point here. We've finally made it down to Fitzroy Street, and it's well worth it because, well, we've got the Prince on our left, which is pretty cool.
Pumping music.
And we've also got our games on our right, which is also very exciting stuff. Hey, we can have a go.
Oh, I reckon we'll have a go. Well, this is a great way to end a day, I think, isn't it?
Excellent.
Well, enjoy yourselves. If you didn't make it this year, there's always next year, because this is one of the biggest parties to ever hit Melbourne. How many people did you count, roughly?
Lots.
Oh, about 250,000 the last count, I think.
You reckon?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you got one off. What's he get for that?
Zilch.
Zilch? Oh, he's got to get 3. Are you a bit annoyed by that? He only got 1?
Get active, get social, get on a roll. For more info, visit skateaustralia.org.au.
Okay, Sarah, I'm going to order some pathology tests to see how everything's going.
Half the Australian population had a pathology test last year. That's you or someone you love. 100 tests are performed every minute, delivering vital medical information. From the moment you are born, your healthcare depends on pathology tests. 70% of medical decisions rely on information from pathology tests. Pathology is the engine room of healthcare. One small sample can reveal millions of insights all about you. Pathologists are your doctor's doctor. 25,000 people work to provide doctors with the answers they need to treat you. Australian pathology is world class. We may never meet you, but we see each of you as part of our family. Every minute, 23 Australians find out more about their health.
Good news, Sarah. The results show that everything's okay.
Pathology provides peace of mind.
I rely on Australian pathology.
Sign up online to support Australian pathology.
Live streamed from Echuca each week, this is MELfeed.video, a different sort of TV.
Okay, Sarah, I'm going to order some pathology tests to...
The following program carries an MA classification and may contain adult themes and coarse language. MELfeed.video advises that it is suitable for viewers aged 15 plus.
lot of boozers, especially this bloke. Recently, by the police, I was requested to submit myself to being breathalyser tested. They couldn't really seriously think that I'd been out having a drink. Everybody that knows me has noted that I've always been T, black one, totaled. Do I look like the type of skunk that would drive his car while he was drunk? Don't answer that. On my sack time, it did unnecessarily drag me stopping and blowing into that bloody bag to get a reading that showed up naught, when all the drunks I know, they never get caught. And whenever in a pub, a request for a drink I've made, it's always been just lime and lemonade.
Transgression. You said that it happened once, but it was weird, and I understood because you were lonely and she was lonely, and you happened to find each other one quiet afternoon. And then it happened again, but it wasn't so weird this time. And I tried to understand because you were both still so lonely, and because I hadn't claimed you yet, and because you didn't even really know where I was anymore. And then it happened again, but you didn't want it to stop this time, and I couldn't understand. Because it wasn't about loneliness now. And because I wanted to claim you, to stop this subtle transgression. Even though by doing so, I would be the one transgressing. Thank you.
Over the years, nothing much has changed. You gotta learn this. You gotta learn that. You gotta learn what they say, or nothing you will get. You gotta sign this, and you gotta sign that. You gotta do what they say, or into trouble you will get. You gotta buy food. You gotta buy drink. You gotta go get a job, or you'll end up out in the street. This life is full of gotters, but I've got a life all mine. And I've got to remember the next lines. But I'm gonna stick to a life that's mine. Yes, thank you.
This poem is called Soon. You watch me, watching, hoping, waiting. I am watching you. What else can I do? Sleep, dream, breathe. I wish for sleep's reprieve. You're watching me, coyly, weakly, meekly. You watch my eyes skitter. Your smile becomes off kilter. Will the waiting never end? Am I an unsleepable friend? I feel anticipation rising. Soon we both will be shining. Yet I am disappointed. I've drank too much, screwed such and such, succumbed to fear and lust. I want your shining light to guide my inner sight. Or fly me to the moon. Sweet, I'll be there soon. Soon, I'll share everything with you. Confess what I've been through. Could it be I've changed somehow? Please, please, just kiss me now. I can be your well-trained pet, purring, no need for regret. Lick your heels, know my place, content, avoiding kicks to my face.
This is not a hate rant.
I simply feel there are more productive ways a grown man could occupy time and space than telling me where I can and can't smoke a cigarette, stand straight with purpose, perfectly reasonable in himself, yet here I wonder. He's not drooling with impediment. I imagine he could be doing most anything. Still, what he's doing is don't sit, don't smoke, feet off, buddy, move it along, son, and sounding as though he means it. I may waste some days. I will not deny it, still rather waste than this delusion of importance. Say maybe he has other goals, aspires and sees greatness. How could I know? He invites no conversation with the tone of a blunt instrument. Simon says, put that out, move along and stare into the distance like Julius Caesar or Bruce Willis in Squint at the Sun. I simply wish to know, what moment did the dream become so surreal? You're protecting the public from me, and it would do neither of us good for me to chuckle at the absurdity, so I'll be affronted vaguely, laugh later, flick the switch, turn off, more chance of pointless hostility. Got no hate in my heart, brother. Just think we ask life for different things, and sure, I'll put it out, I'll move on. I just wish you'd said hello first.
Consider it a privilege. Consider it a privilege. A little princess, blue eyes, blonde curls, never knew trouble, protected by a stately home. This was her universe, a petrochemical paradise. The ground is solid. There's no quicksand in this dream. You work hard, you get by on your own merit. Take it or leave it, it's up to you, right? Consider it a privilege. Her mama got sick, peeling skin, vomit, hair everywhere, mouth ulcers, bleeding lips, drainage bags, creeping indignity. No one ever warns you about that. Looked like a monster. The queen was dead. The princess deposed from the stately home. Poisoned blood has a price. Consider it a privilege. This is world-class care. You better believe it. Daddy didn't stand a chance. Financial meltdown, pushed out downtown, nervous breakdown, downplay, downsize. Education in this neighbourhood, consider it a privilege. At least blonde baby doll looks have currency. Models and exotic dancers wanted. Self-medicate to screen out the creeping indignity. At least this isn't Afghanistan. At least the water is drinkable most of the time. Consider it a privilege.
Joy, well-being, community, inclusion.
Special Olympics is a global movement for people with an intellectual disability, creating a world of inclusion and community through sport, where every person is accepted and welcomed, regardless of ability. One athlete, one volunteer, one family member at a time, helping to make the world a better place. Join the inclusion revolution by supporting Special Olympics.
And choose to include.
Every day, in many ways, the Royal Flying Doctor Service takes the finest care to Australia's furthest corners so that all Australians can enjoy the best of health. The Royal Flying Doctor Service has been taking care of Australians for over 80 years. But we still need your help to continue providing emergency rescue and essential health care to remote and rural communities. Make a donation or become a supporter and help keep the Flying Doctor flying.
So, you think you're ready for this?
To take on the world? Why not?
If you choose to drink then drive,
You could ruin lives,
someone else's
your families.
or your own,
Choose not to instead.
the right choice could save someone's life.
Proud supporters of safety in our community.
GMCU and Southern Cross Austereo.
Strawberries. I ate all the strawberries. And it wasn't so much that I was drunk from before or the speeches were boring and I didn't know anyone, but because I like strawberries, you see. And these ones were really nice ones. I ate all the strawberries. And it wasn't so much that I wanted to hurt you or you were boring me and I didn't really know what I was doing. But because I like strawberries, you see. And these were particularly delicious.
You got no time for it. All it wants is all of you. This is the name of a place safe from all of that. Just say, oh. Say, say, the apes and the machines go on. They got so much to do. You and me, we got mountains to put up. Just say, say, say,
This is called Misplaced. Somewhere on the edge of nowhere, after a fight over something stupid like toast, ended up a grand showdown. I am not your singing monkey. Slam the front door. Yeah, I meant to break it. Anger wells up like a flash flood. Lost it again. Control. Gotta find it. Jump in the car. Foot to the floor. Lead foot lost. Simmering. Anger drifts on the open road. Somewhere on the edge of nowhere, a hostile wasteland. Parched weed and the occasional semi. Time to turn back. Anger turns to fear. Wolf Creek imaginings waking at dusk. Simmering. Look behind. Look around. Look up. Something's glimmering. 7 cockatoos, beings of light, glory and hope, banish all fear and malice, humbles me, so I go on home to a sheepish apology.
I am not here to melt your iceberg. Your floating monolith can never be my trophy to signify how deep in your earth I can set my flag and mark as territory. Were I to chip away a dark crystal shard, it would only melt to cry into my palm from the separation it felt for the whole. Its tears not even leaving salt for my efforts. Its touch too cool for me to dare expose a naked hand to its gushing release of loss, for fear of my fingers breaking, cracking at the knuckle like discarded bottles. I am drawn to the base of your crystallized sanctuary for the view The snow-lace panoramic drains my attention like a sink, which I willingly pour my thoughts into, my ideas pooling at the horizon where powdered frog meets blazing mist, sunlight dancing on the wind to shine like city lights, a spotlight chorus line mirrored by your glass center, at which edge I now cement my stance. Your deaf-mute fortress offering no channel for communication, I wait speechless. Instead, I commune with your frozen mountain with my eyes, harboring no desire to hold that which you do not willingly release, your heart, but instead stand at the battlement lines, drawn in the snow by your unspoken words, not yet. I am patient, with the patience of one who knows only fantasy, the fantastical dream of mothers who believe their children will remain forever young and innocent. Your heart, which you have encased in frozen ivory, may not be designed for me, but the vainglory hope is enough warmth to sustain me in this subtropical ecstasy of views and silent perimeter of you. I will wait, should the melting cage cause waters to rise and consume me. I will wait. Thank you.
Big hands begging for dead. Time for your nappy change. Straight back on the yummiest boob. The kids got it made. Won't bet it, that down. Big hands begging for dead. Time for your nappy change. Straight back on the yummiest boob, and it's crashed. Kids got it made. T.N. Tran, Harrison Thwaites, Reuben Lay, caught up in the world 9th month on the 9th day. And 50.5 cents I met 8 pounds, and every day's getting bigger. Enough now to smile and make me drop a kiss on those lips from my true love. Knock on wood. When those little eyes open, the nose wiggles and the man has spoken. Big hands begging for dead hair. Time for your nappy change. Straight back on the yummiest boob. The kids got it made. Pull down the bat down. Big hands begging for dead. Time for your nappy change. Straight back on the yummiest boob, and it's crashed. The kids got it made, my baby's little heartbeats for eternity, and here I come basing it with certainty. Let it be known that the blues ain't a curse for me, even though immortality can bring out the worst in me. Sex, politics, and rock and roll out the red carpet for the kid in the stroller, right? And make way for the rhythmical roots of the young Reuben Lay. Big hands begging for dead. Time for your nappy change. Straight back on the yummiest boob. The kids got it made. But down the pit down, but do. Big hands begging for dead. Time for your nappy change. Straight back on the yummiest boob, and it's crashed. The kids got it made. Thank you.
This is called paint colours. Who names the colours on a paint brochure? Can you make a colour more attractive by calling it fandangle? I didn't know fandangles are green, but then again I didn't know spatial spirit, jazzercise and keen wind are green too. One brochure says, the soft warmth of cottontail, a colour, complement the natural tones, different colours, in the furniture. Waxway, another colour, contrast with the powerful presence of red terror. Aha. The result is a sophisticated warmth created with elegant simplicity. This is all to create a mood or change the way you feel with inspirational room recipes. Righto. How about a range of colours called How You Make Me Feel, like dull bastard beige or annoying prick purple? create mystery and intrigue with the tinting machines on the blink again brown, or I don't care if you wanted blue anyway, puce. Or only one Barocca would have been enough yellow. That's more realistic. Not like the colour named gumboot. I've never seen a gumboot that colour. I'd call it what the gumboot stepped in. The most accurate name I saw was black and green. It's not green at all. It's black. Maybe it could be renamed it was green before it was run over, or the green bits were crossed out. They all seem to have a heritage range. This range could be called, hey, let's look like our neighbours, or see what those colour Nazis in the council made us do. Then there is the effects range. It takes 2 coats, brushed differently of course, to get Venus Vibe, Suave Rose, Sapphire Burst, and, wait for it, Latte. The brochure says, admire the finish. Admire this finish.
It's morning, and dawn silhouettes the bedroom blinds. Outside, the last of the camellias fall on the lawn, and blossoms appear on the apricot tree. I am wondering when we will meet. You, always so busy. Me, waiting for you. But my breasts can already feel your hands.
There was a young man from Limerick who said, wait, this is a haiku.
Mother and her daughter waiting by the river, father and his son waiting by the window for an army to come, for an army to come, bearing the flag of destruction. Forgive this good time. There's a man in the clouds, his fingers on the button. He's about to drop the bomb. Someone told him it had to be done. It just had to be done. For some kingdom to come. What kind of God have we made this time? What kind of God can abide and justify? What kind of God? Wages endless, senseless, heinous, bloody war, genocide. What kind of God? What kind of God have we made this time? What kind of God can abide and justify? What kind of God? Wages endless, senseless, heinous, bloody war, genocide. What kind of God? Thank you.
You're there when they can't sleep. You're there when they forget. But who's there when they're at school? Asthma can be serious. It affects 1 in 10 Australians and claims 400 lives each year. Does anyone at your school know what to do in an asthma emergency? Log on to asthmafriendlyschools.org.au and find out if your school is asthma friendly. Shouldn't every school be asthma friendly?
I didn't think this could happen in Toowoomba. And then I saw it on TV that night. It really opened my eyes.
Whenever the community comes to us and says we need your help, we do whatever we can to assist.
It is a great feeling to be able to help your neighbours, to be able to help your community.
Each Lions member and each Lions club in different parts of the country, we're totally different. But we have core values that are the same. They remain the same for any Lions member and any Lions club anywhere in not just Australia but around the world.
Anything that you can think of that you want to do and support and help, Lions are doing it right now somewhere in this world.
I think Lions need to tell their story. They need to let people know the amazing things that they do.
The 3 major streams that we have in Lions are the community service that we do for the public, health and medical research, and the disaster relief.
We're out there to help people. If you love helping people, get out and help. Join a Lions Club.
We started this project about 20 years ago. All this gear would normally go to the tip. We recycle it and give it to someone less fortunate and where it is needed in the world.
Being a Lion here in Australia means that I can make a difference to my community. But most importantly, it's inspiring other people to get out and be part of their community and make it a safer and a much happier and better place to live.
Childhood cancer, I've always been interested in cancer and small children from the time I first got cancer 30 years ago. Research is an indefinite item. You can't see it, but it helps so much.
I'm here managing the money and the relationships, but other people are out there raising funds and bringing in community support. Without all of us working together, we can't affect change.
2 more extra hands at any function, any working bee, anything we do, 2 more hands can help us raise more funds, can help us serve our community better.
I went to my Lions Club and I said, I got this idea and I think it's a little bit crazy, but I think we could raise some serious money doing it. And it was to run 100 kilometres. And the club said, okay, if you want to do this, whatever you need us to do, we'll be there 100%. And I'm pretty proud to say that together we raised just over $16,000. So we blew the target out of the water, and I think that was due to a lot of the support that I got.
Through my leadership training and all that, I've learned about thinking global and acting local, and Lions Club is definitely that kind of thing. They act within their communities, but the money that they raise can often end up in any corner of the world.
As an individual, I could only do so much, and whilst it was my burning desire to try and help these people, having an organisation such as the Lions family to call upon to support me and those people that were working with me just made it possible for us to achieve so much more.
You know, after the devastation, to come back into the community, you know, you were shattered by what you saw. You know, no police station, no post office, no petrol station, you know, no kindergarten. There was nothing here.
And all that water with an unstoppable.
I don't know that I've ever seen as much as arrived. There were fridges, washing machines, dryers. There was toasters, jugs, just everything.
To be invited to be a part of Lions just opened up a whole new world to me. a world that provided a structured organisation that could see that the hours that I volunteered could achieve so much more.
I think Lions is a wonderful organisation. The people in it have charity in their hearts.
I can go anywhere in this country, see somebody with a Lions badge, walk up to them and say, "Good day, you got a friend."
Never once in my life had I had a group of people where I could go to, say anything, and know that no matter what, they would be there, they would stand by me.
It's the family. That's what we call it. It's the Lions family. Without Lions, I think I'd be lost now because they've been my life.
We work hard, but the most important thing is we have fun.
The fellowship of all the members of the club, the broader community, it's just a tremendous organisation to belong to. I'll be here till I die.
It is extremely rewarding and gratifying to be a part of an organisation that can spread its support so far and wide.
More members means more hands, means more support to the community.
I would encourage everyone just to give it a go and see if it is for them, because the return that you get for giving to others is amazing.
Get out there, do something wonderful, be part of this fantastic organisation.
Live streamed from Echuca each week, this is MELfeed.video, a different sort of TV. Live streamed from Echuca each week, MELfeed.video, a different sort of TV. Live streamed from Echuca each week, MELfeed.video, a different sort of TV. Northern Access Television will turn 30 in 2020. We are planning a celebration night with a book and a special TV show about our history. If you're a past member or a volunteer of NAT, we would love to hear from you. For more details, visit the website nat30years.info and find out how you can help celebrate 30 years of media for the community. The 30th anniversary of Northern Access Television. Let's celebrate in 2020.
They say there's a chance I could die in a car crash, maybe even from heart disease, maybe even skin cancer.
I could die in a work-related accident, or I could die in a fight.
The fact is, the biggest cause of death for men in my age group is suicide.
Please don't let this happen to me.
You can do something. Lifeline believes that suicide is mostly preventable. Help us save lives. Find out what you can do at lifeline.org.au.
MELfeed.video is about to close operations for tonight, but we'll be back with you next Monday evening. In the meantime, here is a selection of programs that will be seen on our next scheduled web stream. You're welcome to visit our website at MELfeed.video for further details of this project. Until next time, from all of us here at MELfeed.video, we wish you a very good night.